Give me a book plot surrounding Disney theme parks and I will give you an interview. Add in the storyline that a group of kingdom keepers must save the parks from destruction, and you get Kingdom Keepers Inheritance, Villain's Realm. The author is Ridley Pearson, and the villain this time around, it's Miss Ursula. It's so good to have you on the show, and nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me. It's great fun.
Okay, so I'm Disney obsessed. So as soon as I saw that Ursula was going to be your latest villain, I had to get into this. Because to me, now Ridley, you tell me what you think, but to me, Ursula is a businesswoman who is very astute when it comes to contract law, and that's all.
I couldn't have said it better. She also has an alter ego, Vanessa.
She does.
So, yeah, so you have to watch out because you don't know who you're really getting when you're dealing with Ursula.
That's true. And people often forget about Vanessa. It's kind of that thing that you delete in your mind when you're watching The Little Mermaid, but you're right. In human form, she is but an attractive brunette, when really there's
That's
a huge
right.
purple
And
octopus.
If you read Inheritance, you won't forget about Vanessa.
I bet you won't. All right, so before we get more into Ursula, tell me why set it at Epcot?
Epcot offered me the opportunity to explore international parks. I had written 7 Kingdom Keepers books, and then I wrote a series called The Return that went back to opening day in Disneyland. And Walt Disney had always envisioned that Epcot would have 40,000 people living around it. It would be kind of a Silicon Valley of the East. And then he passed on, and it never happened. And so as an homage to Walt, I have set this book in the year 2040, and instead of the Kingdom Keepers, it's the children of the Kingdom Keepers. And there is a city around Epcot, and because Epcot has the World Showcase, a young man named Finn Whitman realizes that if he uses Mickey's wand from Fantasia and he dips it in some of Walt's special ink, he can cut a portal to all the international Disney parks. So in Villain's Realm, we go to Disney Paris, Disney Shanghai, Disneyland. You can imagine what it would be like to be a 9-year-old or a 15-year-old or a 45-year-old and jump a portal into a park after dark and have to defeat good old 8-tentacle Ursula. And you have Inheritance. The books all stand alone, so you can read them in any order.
Oh.
But I've had a ton of fun.
Well, I just think that you have the best job in the world, Ridley, and I don't know what
I don't argue with you.
I don't know what deal you had to make with Ursula to make that happen, but whatever it is, you signed a good contract with her. Since you are...
It's the dark side.
The dark side. Since you are a Disney fan, and you've obviously thought a lot about the villains, when you look at our villains, the full cast until present day, who do you think is the evilest of them all?
I think the most dangerous of them all is Chernabog. I think the most evil is Maleficent.
Oh.
And I am terrified of Maleficent. She has been through 9 of the books. And the Disney Imagineers once had me into Disney Hollywood Studios after hours. I've been able to go into the parks 30 times when the parks are closed. And there are no people, there's no lights, there's no music. They are so spooky. And one time, the Disney Imagineer I was with left me alone for a moment, and I was confronted by the real Maleficent, all 6'1" of her, with her green skin and her cape. And she said, "Ridley, what are you doing in my park?" And I just took off running, and I think I reached Indiana before I stopped. It was terrifying.
What a great story, Ridley. If I may, I may have to change my answer because Maleficent is truly terrifying. My co-anchor and I decided this morning that it was the evil queen because there is no one pettier than her. She is obsessed with a 14-year-old's beauty, and she only wants to kill because she's vain. I mean, honestly, relatable.
The vanity of Evil Queen is just something you don't want to mess with. I wrote a collection of short stories called Cautionary Tales for Disney with a Halloween theme. And I have a big Evil Queen section in it. And she just amazes me as a villain. I think you've picked a very good villain there.
Ridley, congratulations on the new book. It has been so fun talking to another mega Disney fan, and hopefully one day I'll run into you in the halls of the Haunted Mansion.
Nice. Can't wait. Thanks for having me.